Hello, my lovely jewelers. If you have not already started thinking about your Christmas sales, now is really a good time to start doing that because there's always so much to consider and time runs out faster than you can blink, and next thing you know, it'll be December. So it's really important to get ahead of the game and make sure that you're on top of things before it's too late. So September, if you've not already started, is a really good time to get moving on those things. So in this video, I'm going to go through 3 main areas, and underneath those 3 areas, I've got some checklist of items that I really highly suggest you get on top of as soon as possible. So those 3 items are, first of all, new collection. Secondly, is your target audience, getting some feedback from them. And then thirdly is your marketing. So let's dive into those and go through that. So first of all, new collection. So if you're thinking of launching a new collection and the idea has been in the back of your mind for a little while, December is really a great time to launch that, or even, to be honest, for Black Friday. That's also a big push in terms of sales, but particularly for Christmas, then it's a really nice opportunity to get your jewelry out there, seen by the most people possible. So obviously Christmas sales, people are buying gifts and they're really looking around to find something really special. So having your stuff ready for Christmas is a great opportunity to put a new collection out there, get that feedback and see what sells, see how that works ahead of time. Because if you think, for example, of launching a new collection in January or February, then the market isn't really there. Obviously, February, we've got Valentine's Day, but essentially there's not really a whole big hype in terms of buying. Things slow down a little bit unless you're going for the wholesale route and you're trying to get your stock into new shops for the beginning of the year. Then January can be interesting for the bigger buyers. But if you're just selling directly to your customer, so that's called B2C, it means business to customer, then Christmas is a real great opportunity to take advantage of that. So if you're wanting like a cash injection because you don't have the money to invest in a new collection, then it's a really good idea to do what I call like a sample sale, where you basically put out all of the pieces that you don't sell on your website or Etsy, wherever you're selling, and you want to just get rid of the pieces so you can sell them off at a like sale price, do a big discount and get that organized. So you can either do that by yourself at home super easily, or you can organize it with a friend or two. Maybe they're also makers, either jewelry or in a different field as well, and come together and do something together. You really don't need to overthink this too much. So you can even do it in your studio if that's a possibility for you. Just clear a little space, set it up, put it out there, get people to come. The reason that you don't want to overthink this is because then it often just doesn't end up happening, especially now there isn't that much time before Christmas. So to be able to get that cash injection ahead of time, it's a really good idea to be able to be organized, just get it done, put it out there. It's nothing fancy, save your energy for the proper Christmas markets, but just to get that done. And that's why if you tend to overthink things, which a lot of us do, then it's a really nice idea to team up with somebody, because then there's that accountability aspect and you're both like, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to set a date. Let's do this thing. So that is something to consider if you want a cash injection ahead of time to help you prepare everything for Christmas. Another point is in terms of making sure that you have everything you need in terms of your materials, any specific tools or anything you need. It's also a good idea to then just check, because maybe, for example, you have a specific piece that uses lots of whatever jump rings or whatever it is, or particular stones. So check ahead of time that you aren't just about to run out of those, because as things pick up towards Christmas, as we know, the supply stores run out of things sometimes. Things are really busy. You might spend a long time queuing for things, and it just puts a lot of extra stress when you don't have time. So check now, make sure everything you plan on selling is ready. You have enough materials to make that stuff. And also, obviously, if you're making a new collection, then make sure that you have got the materials you're going to need to explore those different ideas. So get on top of that as soon as possible. The next point is getting feedback from your target audience. If you are launching a new collection particularly, it's a really good idea to test it out on real humans. Do they actually like what you're doing? or you're sitting at home making something that you think is the best thing since sliced bread, you put it out there and nobody likes it. I like to really use Instagram as a place to be able to get that feedback. People love an interactive story. Add some polls, add some quizzes, put a this or that, like get people involved in the process of making the collection. Or in terms of if you're just using an existing collection, then still put it out there, take some new photos. We'll talk about that in a second, but be ahead of the game in terms of warming up your audience. Think of it like this. If you were to sell to a cold audience, they are not going to be interested. If, for example, you walk into a shop and before you even step foot through the door, they're like shoving a piece of jewelry in your face. Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy this? Obviously, you're not going to want to buy it because you're like, whoa, give me a second to look around. Do I even like the shop? Do I like the jewelry? What else do they sell here? So you need to give them an opportunity to feel connected with the brand, know a bit about them, be excited about the collection as well. So it's nice to involve them in that process because it really helps to make them feel connected and more excited to buy. So when you do put it out and it's ready for sale, or you announce you're going to be at a particular Christmas event, then they come along and they're like, oh my God, I'm so excited to buy this thing. This really happened to me in the past and it's great. It's like, oh my God, a real live person off Instagram came and voila, they want to buy my jewelry. No questions asked. They were like, great, I'm super excited. Let's do this. And it's because I was sharing the process of the designing of that collection ahead of time. So they felt like they were part of it as well. So that is really important as well. So get that feedback either on Instagram or in person. If you add another event ahead of time, put your pieces out there, see what people think. Don't just rely on asking your friends and family, because trust me, they're going to be nice and they're going to say, oh, that's lovely, that's lovely. But what really speaks is, do they actually buy it? Are they actually interested in it? So do some strategic polls in your stories to get that feedback as an easy way, or if you're in an event, obviously, then that's great too. Then next up, we've got marketing. So marketing obviously encompasses a whole bunch of different things, but a lot of marketing is visual, especially being jewelry designers. So you want to have some really nice photographs to be able to showcase your beautiful jewelry, whether that is new photographs of old pieces or photographs of your new collection. It's really good to take advantage of the light that we still have if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, because you know how it gets. Winter, it's dark at 4 p.m, it's super gloomy, and the lighting just really doesn't make your jewelry pop unless you have a nice big light, like I have over here on my right. But it's still never as good as natural light. So take advantage of that while you can, just to spruce up your website, spruce up your Instagram, and any promotional materials that you're going to be using, also in emails. Another point is to make sure that you are engaging through Instagram and through emails. So send more emails, do more posts, because you want a warm audience. Nobody buys if they're cold. So what I mean by that is what I said before, in terms of they feel connected, they understand, they feel like they've been part of the process. And all of that is really, really important in terms of marketing and staying at the forefront of their mind. Because if you just suddenly start selling and you say, right, here you go, do you want this thing? Then they're like, who are you again? I can't remember. So you want to really have that like friendly connection so that when they start thinking about gifts, they start thinking about you and your beautiful jewelry. So that is also really, really important. So make an effort to do more than you have been doing if you have been not super consistent with that. Another point is to also review your website. If you have a website, maybe there's some old pictures that need refreshing, so you can use those pictures you took earlier and put some fresh pictures on there. Just check that everything runs smoothly, because sometimes we overcomplicate things. And in terms of website design, I like to think of it as though like, can my granny navigate it easily? Because sometimes what we like to do is overcomplicate things by renaming the wheel or like relabeling things in a really obscure way that sounds really cool, and maybe like we want to stand out by, you know, being a bit different to everybody else. But really, in terms of website design, you just want it to be simple. When it comes to technology and it doesn't work or it's not intuitive, then people just often give up. Or at least I do. If I'm just like, where's the thing? I can't find, and it's just annoying because you just want to find the thing you're looking for. So make sure that you have organized your website in a really intuitive way. Sometimes we may think for us it makes total sense, but that's why it's a really good idea to ask other people without saying anything, how does this work for you? Just watch them navigating your website and see if they can find what they're looking for and how that user experience is for them. So just have a look at that, make sure everything's smooth, make sure all your buttons work, everything, check out smooth if you've been using your website for a while, particularly because even if you're at a physical event, such as a market, then you have your business cards out there, and if people take the business card and then they want to go and buy from you on your online store later, you don't want them to reach hiccups and obstacles in the way which put them off buying. So even if you're not focusing directly on website sales, if you have that link, make sure that it is smooth, if you haven't looked at it for a while. So get on top of that as soon as possible as well. So I hope this has been helpful, and I am super excited for Christmas because it's such a fun opportunity to be out there, get in front of people, actually talk to humans and do all of that. And obviously make some money, because that's what we're here to do, selling your jewelry. So take advantage of this, and I really, really hope this has helped. If you found this content valuable, I appreciate it if you consider subscribing if you found it helpful. I always like to bring out videos that I think would be the most helpful for you to help you with your jewelry business. So let me know in the comments which of these points you feel super excited to get on with. Also, obviously, you can personalize this list, so add whatever else you like to do ahead of time. Drop a comment down below to let me know what you always make sure that you get done around this time to be ready for those Christmas sales. Anyway, that's it for this week. Anyway, that's it for this week, and I look forward to seeing you next week in another video. Bye, see you soon.